How's it going, everybody? This is Alekseeva, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What's up, Will?
What up, what up?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of Story of the Fight. My name is Romero. That's my boy, Will. In the background, we got Richie Casual, our producer, doing his producing things, right?
Toasty already in the chat.
Already? Toasty? Present, he said. Present.
Raise his hand.
Well, hey, if everybody logging in right now can just do us a favor, just make sure you're liking, subscribing, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever we go on live or do anything else on here, or maybe upload a short, right? Yeah. If you'd like to listen, if you'd like watching, where can they find us?
Yeah, it's at Story of the Fight everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit. It's Story of the Fight everywhere. We got lucky. We got everything uniform. If you go to storyofthefight.com, it'll list everything. Just click through the links, hit follow. We also have the merch store on storyofthefight.com. So if you click that, you can get one of these hoodies. Story of the Fight Pride Never Die style hoodies. Both wearing it, not planned.
Not planned.
But yeah.
Yeah, shout out Monster Tony saying Danis is a fraud as usual. Came out guns a-blazing right away and then said, sorry, boys, getting my haircut right now. We'll rewatch later. Shout out to Monster Tony. And then he has returned. HOB Comer. Coming on, joining us. What's up, HOB Comer? But hey, I can already tell today's going to be a lot of fun talking fights.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
We had some. And we did have some fights last night. Did you see that transition?
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, so we had UFC Fight Night. What number was
UFC
this?
Vegas 81.
UFC Vegas 80. I stopped keeping track.
Yeah, I wish I could, because I'm the one that has to come up with the fucking title, so I have to keep track.
I stopped keeping track. But hey, so we did have the main event of Edson Barboza versus Sodiq Yusuff.
Yeah, and could you imagine if this wasn't at the Apex? If this was like a sold-out arena? Shit would have been crazy. They turned out like a Fight of the Year contender, and to like 20 people or whatever it is at the Apex.
Dude, Edson Barboza, that guy will just not go away. Will not go away.
Refuses.
First off, all natty?
Who cares anymore?
Yeah. Nobody
Now
cares.
that USADA's gone, who cares?
Nobody cares. But look, dude, in the best shape of his life, Edson Barboza just absolutely shredded, man.
Yeah.
Now, fighting at, 145?
Yep.
At his size, your boy's dropping a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's got to be a massive cut.
A big cut, which sometimes can impact your chin.
A little bit.
Right? A little bit. So that first round, Sodiq Yusuff goes, pop, lays a couple right on his face, on Barboza's face. Dude, so Barboza's face bounces back, comes back.
Reaction.
Yusuff hits him with a right, and then when he hits him with the right, you could see his eyes roll to the back of his head. Did you see that one?
Yeah, and he's like looking up there, and it's like, oh,
and I was like, oh no, he's gonna be out. Yeah, and
I was pissed.
Sodiq Yusuff jumps on him, right? Like trying to take him out as he should, but doesn't completely blow out the gas tank, which is smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could tell he was still a little like reserved. Like people might say that he kind of blew his wad because of what happened in the later rounds, but it didn't look like he did in the round. At least it looked like he was still pretty measured about it, and like didn't just go berserk. Like he wasn't just wildly throwing.
No, look, when you have him that hurt, your boy looked like the Undertaker. His eyes rolling in the back of his head while he's still walking forward. Like you got to try to put him out. You got to. You don't definitely just sit back, right?
Yeah, and he didn't sit back, right? That's not. I don't mean like he sat back, but like because he was picking his shots pretty well. He was still landing on Barboza. Barboza just doing just enough to survive. His footwork is so good. His ringsmanship is so good. So like he was able to evade for a while and then get reset and get. Yeah, Herb Dean, fantastic job.
He had an awesome night.
Really
awesome
did.
night.
Yeah,
Herb Dean's been on fire again lately.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously,
Bean
because
shirt, huh?
dude, if we could get him on and make a Herb Dean shirt, that'd be so sick.
It's tough. It's tough to get specifically to get refs for interviews because their DMs are always locked down. You cannot
Yeah.
reach out to them because I'm sure they get a ton of hate messages. So they're just like, that door's closed.
Dude, we should make a
Ever DM'd, it's like they can't see your
Herb Dean sweater, and then when you put the hoodie on, it like gives you dreads on the side. That'd be so sick. That'd be awesome. But yeah, hey.
But yeah, Edson did a great job of just circling, evading for a while. They'd reset. Sodiq would blast him a couple times, and then he'd circle. And you could tell he was still like concussed for most of that first round. You know, like not
for
quite
the entire
there.
fight, bro. He was concussed for the entire fight, but he battled through it.
Well, yeah, and you know he did some cool things, crafty things. He hit that. Did he hit a Victor roll to try to get that heel hook? And then I was like, oh no, because if you don't have, everyone says you get hit in the face every time you get rocked, you drop a belt, right? In jiu-jitsu. So it's like you're going for heel hooks and stuff. It's such a dangerous game already. If someone's gonna stack you and start blasting you. So I was like, please don't like stay on this heel hook. But he did enough to use it to like just create a scramble and like just stay alive, you know?
To not get punched repeatedly.
Yeah, veteran moves from Barboza in that first round because Yusuff would have put a lot of people out with that exchange.
What was the third round when you landed that spinning wheel kick?
I think it was the third round. I had Edson winning the second round. He came back. It was very close.
Turning it around.
Yeah, I thought he won that round. The commentary was like, they were like afraid to say, like Bisping was like, and now, well, he didn't win this round, but he's coming back. And I was like, I feel like he won that round. Like I thought it was pretty clear. Yusuff just really didn't do much. He started getting the body kicks off. He started ripping to the body with his hands. And then the third round, he put it on him bad, and he hit that.
That's when it really started changing. When he started landing those shots, you know, to the liver.
Yeah.
Which is classic Barboza.
Classic Barboza. 89 strikes to the body across the fight for Barboza. 89.
Beautiful to the body. So spinning wheel kick, right? He gets Yusuff on skates. They end up on the ground. Then Barboza goes for a Darce choke. Rough, right?
Yeah. Not a good move. Still concussed. I also hate that position because he hits him with the wheel kick. He stumbles, right? Barboza stumbles like himself because he was off balance when he threw it. Still landed it. Yusuff is like up for a second. He's got his hand on the wall. Turnbuckle. Do you call it a turnbuckle in the cage? I don't even know.
Yeah,
the post,
the corner,
corner.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he had his hand there, and then he eventually falls to his knees, and he's kind of just like there in that position. And then Barboza's like, and goes for the choke. It's like, no, let him blast the knee and be done with this thing, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever. It's not, it's not as real as it gets anymore. But he goes for the choke because it's kind of like an awkward position, right? I think he tried to throw like an uppercut but missed. It's just a weird position. Goes for the choke. Yusuff survives it. And then it's like, oh, we got ourselves a fight here. And then Yusuff, I mean, outside of that first round, he just never really got off. Barboza just did such a good job pressuring him, throwing those body shots. That switch kick, because he's an orthodox fighter, right?
Yep.
So they're a closed stance. Well, I guess he switches stances, but when they're in that closed stance, he throws that lead leg switch kick to the body. That is just so fast, and it's just such a patented Barboza move, you know, because those are the two, right? The lead leg switch kick, and then the wheel kick.
Yep.
Those are the two from Barboza that are just money.
And they were landed.
And they were landing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that, I mean, Yusuff never really like flinched to the body, but even though he didn't show it, he had a great poker face on those body shots. They add up and they definitely do damage when you're Edson Barboza. You know?
How is it that Barboza's chin gets better as the fight goes on? Because he got cracked a few times in the fifth round too, where I was like, oh.
Yeah, he did. But I think that's also part of just Yusuff just didn't have the sting on him anymore, you know? Throughout that fight, he just, you know, as the fight progressed, even his jab just seemed more labored. There was more wasted like movement on it. It wasn't just a straight down the pipe type jab, you know, like there was a little bit more, everything was more labored from him. So I think, Barboza can just take it more. Plus then, you know, he's got the adrenaline of the wheel kick. He's got like all that stuff working for him. And in my opinion, Yusuff won a 10-8 round that first round. And then Barboza clean swept him for the rest of the fight, which is crazy. That's how I scored it, at least.
Maybe his EPO just kicked in, like in the fourth round. You know what I mean? He just turned it on, and there we go, dude. Barboza with a decision win. Now moving to 24-11. Yusuff's third loss of his career. So I mean, what happens with Barboza from here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he like goes on like a run or anything. But Yusuff was ranked, right? Was Yusuff like 13 or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Look up the rankings really quick. I should have had these up already.
Yeah, I think
Yusuff was 11.
Yeah.
Barboza was 13. So yeah, bro, that's a top 10 Barboza. What year is it?
Whoa. So you have like a Bryce Mitchell, Evloev, Giga Chikadze. Ooh, that'd be so fun.
Giga?
Yeah.
He already lost to him, right? Giga knocked him out, right?
Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett, Ilya Taporia. Dude, it's a tough go.
It's
tough go in the top 10.
Monsters. Monsters. Giga
I don't know about Resurgence. Did he?
Hey, you saw it as gone. What are we talking about? You think Resurgence is off the table?
That's true. That is so true. Oh my God. The UFC just got so much more exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Also, shout out Dominic Cruz 3 times. 3 times throughout the fight. He has to go off on a 30-second tangent about great reffing to not stop the fight there. Let these guys. And it's like, dude, that Cejudo fight was 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's got to let it go, dude.
It's like, it sucks because in the moment, the craziness is still happening. Barboza is still surviving that first round, and he's talking about Herb Dean doing a great job for not stopping it. And it's like, hey, man, time and place. We're still in the fire right now, talking about the fire. You know, like, it's crazy, dude. He did it again with the wheel kick on Yusuff, and then again in the 5th round, he's like, and again, just great job by the ref to let this. That's a little bit better. Talk about it in the 5th round after the fact, not in the fire. You know,
he's staring at Keith Peterson that's sitting off to the side as he's saying that.
Just mad dogging him.
Classic.
All right, you love to see Yusuff lose. I know people love him for his videos, the breakdowns he does of fights, but the guy's a piece of shit. So I wish he got knocked out because, he trains with Lloyd Irvin still. Like, anybody who still supports that guy is an absolute scumbag. You know, for people who don't know, I'll go on a quick tangent about it. But Lloyd Irvin trains Sodiq Yusuff. Lloyd Irvin, insane jiu-jitsu skills, phenomenal jiu-jitsu coach, trained absolute monsters. Dominic Cruz, Ryan Hall, like just killers, especially in the jiu-jitsu world. Also, allegedly a rapist. So everybody left the gym, including Dominic Cruz. And then he's having this, like, Dominic Cruz went back to him. He's shouting him out on the broadcast like multiple times about how much of a killer he is. And like, he built Yusuff from the ground up, like all this stuff. And it's like, hey, this guy should be blacklisted from the sport. If he's not blacklisted, the UFC should be doing everything in their power to not show him on the broadcast or acknowledge him. But instead, they put the corner can on him. They're talking about him. They're like, let's listen to Lloyd Irvin, mastermind in the corner, all this. It's like, hey, man, the guy's like a legend, gang rapist. The only reason he wasn't, he was acquitted from it. Basically, he had 2 students in his gym who allegedly brutally raped another female student. They were acquitted of the charges because the surveillance camera was too blurry for them to positively identify them. So they got off of it. He paid for their legal fees, allegedly. His students say that he paid for the legal fees. And then when this all happened, it got unearthed that in '89, he was part of a gang rape. And the only reason 7 other guys were arrested and charged for it, he was the only one that wasn't. And the reason he got off on it was because his defense was literally that I wanted to, but I couldn't get it up, so I couldn't have. And that won. That somehow worked. So he got off. And then it's crazy that this guy still has fighters under him and getting him money. It's insane to me. So I will always root for Yusuff to get knocked out because he's a scumbag.
Somewhere out there, James Cross is like, hey, guys.
That's what I mean. Like, where do we draw the line? Who was the guy who like tweeted like homophobic slur and they fired him? Like, obviously that's not okay, right? Don't do that. You're a scumbag too. But like, we're gonna allow this? It's crazy that he's still even. It's crazy that he's allowed to even be there. It's another thing for them to be constantly shouting him out throughout the broadcast. That's crazy. It's nuts.
Oh man, that is pretty crazy, dude.
I don't care about how funny your breakdowns are. You're a piece of shit. and I wish he got knocked out from the wheel kick. It would have been awesome.
I've never seen any of his breakdowns.
They're funny.
Are they?
Yeah, it sucks because I want to like the guy, but and like he doesn't necessarily inherently seem like a bad guy, but like to be with this dude and enabling him and paying him money and all this shit and giving him a platform is fucking disgusting. At this dude, there was a massive exodus of fighters leaving him they were like, yeah, he's a fucking cult leader. Like he makes everybody like he makes all the female students tell him that they love him. He like forces them to like obey him to like clean shit, and like it's crazy, dude. Look it up. He also, when all this came out, he bought the URL LloydIrvinRape.com so that if someone Googled his name with rape, that would be the first thing that popped up. And if they click it, it was him talking about a rape self-defense class that was upcoming that never happened. And then it's crazy, dude. So like he's tried to cover, it's fucking nuts. It's a huge rabbit hole. There's weird cult in mixed martial arts or martial arts in general, and it's fucking disgusting. Shout out Regen. We're talking about Lloyd Irvin, Sodiq Yusuff's head coach, who is also allegedly a rapist. Look it up. It's crazy. It's crazy. Allegedly. All this is allegedly. He's also sued a bunch of people for talking about this, so this is all allegedly.
All right. Well, in that case, let's move on, dude.
Look into it.
Yeah. We went very deep.
Sorry, I got to go into it because it's crazy, man.
All right. Well,
we're
gonna skip a few fights here for the sake of time.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
And for the sake of most of these fights sucked.
Yeah. So we'll go into Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez. Not Yanez, Yanez.
Yanez, yeah. New Yanez, reborn. Regent says, I hear things like that about Ramiro all the time. I just ignore it.
False. This guy. Oh, shout out Regent, by the way, on his YouTube page. I saw that he was doing a viewing party now as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So check out Regeneration Nation TV, y'all, if you haven't checked it out yet.
And all your growth. It's fucking sick, dude.
I know. It's awesome. But yeah, Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez. So this was going to be a fun striking fight. We knew this as soon as we were going in, right?
Puncher versus kicker.
Yes. So we have Adrian Yanez, who has some very crisp boxing. Jonathan Martinez, lightning fast kicks. A lot of power behind his kicks, right? And right off the bat, he gets going with that leg kick.
Yeah, immediately.
And you could see, like, from the second or third kick that he gets hit with, right away, your boy Yanez is squinting.
Immediate damage. And, like, it's crazy, too, because normally, like, they're in the open stance, right? So, like, Martinez is southpaw, Yanez is orthodox. So the power kick, your rear leg, is now an inside leg kick rather than an outside leg kick if you're Martinez. Normally, inside leg kicks aren't that, like, debilitating. Yet, on, like, the second one, he's doing damage. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool is, like, people always say, like, who are the best kickers in the UFC, right? And it's guys like Edson Barboza, Yair Rodriguez, guys who are, like, very flashy, throwing cartwheel kicks, throwing, like, side kicks and spin kicks and all this stuff. But then there's Jonathan Martinez, who isn't throwing crazy, like, insane front kicks, jumping switch kicks, like, all these different crazy, like, techniques. It's just power leg kicks. Very technical, very mechanically sound. His timing is insane. His range is insane. I mean, immediately got to work off of it, immediately is landing it, and immediately is doing damage. And nothing flashy. Nothing flashy at all. Just basics. Basics turned up to 20.
It was a nonstop attack on that leg, man. And, you know, the entire time I'm thinking, like, why is Yanez not switching stances to give himself a break? Well, he switched for a little bit, and then whack.
Dude.
Now his other leg, he's like, oh, no.
And now it's an outside leg kick, which is even worse, you know? So it's like, and the commentary, same thing. They're like, yeah, they're asking for him to change stances. Like, why isn't he? And yeah, I saw that too. And I was like, dude, that's way worse than getting hit on the inside. You got to pick your poison, you know? And he probably thought, in orthodox, I can still land my punches. I can still, like, my combos are better in orthodox. I'd rather eat this inside leg kick than the outside one and not have my offense the same, you know? At least in orthodox, he still has his combos, because he landed a very cool combo where he's like jab, rear hand uppercut, and then on the rear hand uppercut, he leaned out off the center line and then went to the left hook to the liver. And it was beautiful, and it's so fast. He comes with these cool angles where he throws his punches. But the problem is he's able to do that because his feet are almost in like a boxing stance. And that leaves you very susceptible to leg kicks.
And Martinez knew that.
Yeah. Yeah,
that, you could tell that was the game plan all along. So HOB Comer saying Yanez lost his mojo. I don't know how much of it is he lost his mojo and how much of it is maybe we took his fights. We didn't take his fights for what they were. You know, he beat Victor Rodriguez, Gustavo Lopez, Randy Costa. Best win, probably Davey Grant.
Yeah,
maybe
definitely his best win.
Right.
And it was split.
Yeah, and it was a split decision. He goes up against some of the big boys, right? He goes up against Rob Font, and he gets dropped, right hook.
Rob Font dogged him out. And that was so cool because that's where you get to see these style adjustments is when you start fighting these upper echelon, right? Because Yanez was landing his hands on Rob Font, and Rob Font's like, ooh, he might be a slicker boxer than me. But you know what you can't do in boxing is grab the back of the head. And he did that. And once he started doing that, he starts blasting him with the other hand. That's an adjustment, you know? And then Martinez, oh, you like to box? You like in a boxing stance? Check out these leg kicks. You know, that's where those things start to present themselves. It's now up to Yanez to kind of adapt and figure that out for himself. But like you said, as soon as he got to the upper echelon, a little dicey. But also,
and look, I'm not saying Jonathan Martinez is top 5 right now either, but Jonathan Martinez has been in the game for a while. He's fought some really good opponents. He's a very solid striker, well-rounded. His ascension,
we've seen him level up, dude. We've seen him level 100%. Up. And you know, like I said, jumping up from Tony Kelly to Rob Font, that's a big jump for Yanez. It's a very big jump. Meanwhile, Martinez has gone that long road. You know, he's gone that long road and been able to add little things to his game, make those adjustments as he's gotten older. Martinez is a dog, dude. I like him a lot. We've talked about him a ton of times.
Yes, we have.
But I don't necessarily put a ton of stock in this loss if you're Yanez, just because it's not like he lost to a bum. He lost to a very good guy in Martinez, and definitely some things he needs to work on. It's an eye-opening loss.
6-fight win streak for Martinez.
Rob.
He's beat up Cub Swanson, Saida Nurmagomedov, and now Adrian Yanez, right? So good for Martinez, man. Who'd you say he called out?
Marotte.
Marotte?
Yeah, who's calling Marotte out? Yeah.
Oh my God. That's insane. Well, hey, props to him for having that set of cojones for calling out Marotte Valishvili. By the way, dude, ever since I saw Marab's card with his autograph.
Oh, yeah, with the autograph.
Oh my God, dude, I want that so bad. One of the best autographs in the game for sure. One of the best autographs in the game.
Region says, why are y'all adding a second Y to Yanez? Because he said he's done Americanizing his heritage and he is now Yanez. I'm guessing there's that's an Enye, not an N.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
Absolutely. The Generous King coming out saying, you bums, I would sleep you both turkey heads. I appreciate it, good sir. Thank you for watching. We always appreciate any viewership.
So generous. Yeah,
I know.
And the comments help. You know, the comments are engagement, so we appreciate that. HW Comer says that was the most beta call out ever. I don't know if he's talking about the generous or if he's talking about Martinez call out of Marab.
Either or, though. Either or. We'll see. All right. Want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, Region says, I thought it was because all the top guys mispronouncing names, so y'all jumping on board. Hey, we do our research and we try our best.
We should start doing that. We should start doing that, like, just on purpose, right?
Just for mispronouncing people.
Yeah, just why not? Why not? All right, so I think the next one we're going to cover is Michel Pereira versus Andre Petroski.
Yeah, and real quick, also, Martinez, one of only 2 fighters in UFC history to have multiple leg kick TKOs. That's fucking sick.
That was the second one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the second fighter to get a second TKO to the legs. Yeah. All right, Michel Pereira.
Michel Pereira versus Andre Petroski. So Petroski, he's the one that came out of tough, right? Known to be a strong wrestler. So going into this, it was like, okay, so we got a a striker versus wrestler, the classic matchup. And dude, we have Pereira moving up in weight class. We knew that he was giant for welterweight, absolutely massive. He was saying he cuts about 45 pounds.
45 pounds when he was fighting at welterweight.
It's insane.
That's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Going up to 185. I'm guessing his gas tank's probably going to be better. I was hoping going in, okay, hopefully it translates some more power in there as well, since he doesn't have that massive cut.
Yeah.
And what happened?
The first punch he throws.
Well, because sends him flying across the octagon.
Yeah, and like it was cool too because they're circling. Petroski's like switching stances, but biting on the feint super hard. Michel Pereira would kind of like tweak his hips a little bit, right? Like he's gonna throw that right leg kick.
Yeah,
and Petroski's just reacting every single time. Petroski throws a jab. Michel tweaks that leg again, and he's like, "Oh!" and he scoots back. He's like, "Oh no!" And then there's like a stutter there where he tweaks that leg and then throws that right hand right down the pipe and just cracks him. And immediately he's like you said, back across the cage, up on the ground. HLB Comer says, "How is the guy coming up from 170 so much bigger than Petroski?" Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
Massive.
He still looks massive at 185.
Yeah.
By the end of Pereira's career, he's probably going to be fighting at 205.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's massive,
and
dude.
He's fast. He has great footwork. He has creative striking. He has slowed down off the cage, jumping off the cage and throwing kicks and the back flips and front flips and all these different things, cartwheels, like all these different things he was doing. He has calmed down. He's looked like more of a serious fighter. And since then, man, he's stringing together some really solid fights.
Yeah, and this was supposed to be originally he was supposed to fight Wonder Boy, right? That fight fell through. He missed weight.
Which would have been so much fun.
Yeah, it would have been good. Regent says he tweaks his leg, and you don't know if it's a leg kick, head kick, or a front flip kick. Yeah, no idea what he's gonna do. I mean, if when Michel Pereira is really working off of his feints, I don't know if there's only a handful of guys that might be more effective with their feints, just because if you're feinting well, that's a perfect thing that Regent says, because if you're feinting well, the whole point of that is you don't know what's coming. Right? You don't know if it's real, or you don't know if it's fake. But if you also have this crazy arsenal of different things that you do and you're feinting well, now it's like you don't know if it's real or fake, and you don't know what it's going to be. There's certain guys who have just crazy arsenals that maybe don't feint that much, and they really should be, because that guesswork is just, you can freeze people with it. And he kind of froze Petroski there, and he just landed a perfect right hand. That's when he actually did throw something.
And the way too, like, because he has kind of like that wide like karate stance sometimes. And, he like bounces up and down off that stance. Yeah, the capoeira. Dude, every time I hear capoeira now, I just think of Conor McGregor walking out in Tough, singing the little capoeira walk. But
it makes me think of Bob's Burgers. Shout out Bob's Burgers.
I've never watched that. Is it good?
So good. Yeah. So
really?
Good. Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll try to watch a couple of episodes. But he's bouncing in that stance, and he comes down off that balance, right? Like, and when he's down, and then he explodes off that bottom posture. And that's when he threw that right. And I was like, oh my God, dude, he put so much into that punch. And
and Petroski almost got the guard up. Like
almost.
His hand got up, but
he blocked it with his face instead. And then he went flying across the octagon, dude. They stopped the fight.
Lesnar style.
And he's just like staring up at the sky after they stop it, dude. And you see the doctor come over and he goes, I'm all right. Yeah. It's like, damn, man.
Props to him, though. He did take it on really short notice, right? Like a week's notice, something crazy like that. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one, man. But props to him, like you said. That's a tough one. TUF. I see what you did there.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
All right. We can move on. We have Christian Rodriguez versus Cameron Saaiman.
This fight was incredible. This is one of those fights where you're like, in the next 5 years, these guys are going to be killers. And just seeing the raw talent out of both these guys, like both these guys staying in the pocket, landing crazy shots, insane scrambles on the ground, just such high level stuff, but still so kind of like raw and like unrefined a little bit,
Yeah.
And 22 and 25, I think, are their ages. Such a bright future for both these guys. This is a hindsight fight, like Islam versus Arman Saryukian, Conor versus Max Holloway. I'm not saying they might they might not reach that level of greatness, but
this
as
is one
far
you'll
as
go
like
back and look
prospects,
at and be like, man, they fought each other early in their career.
yeah, hopefully everything
You know,
pans out for them. Obviously Rodriguez has some shit he needs to figure out, but
hey, he missed weight second time in a row, I believe.
yeah, he has more weight misses than wins in the UFC, I think, right? Is that possible?
I don't know. That's a crazy stat if that's the case.
Let's see. He's missed weight twice in 4 fights. Yeah. He's 3-1 in the UFC now.
3 fights, yeah.
Two weight
3 wins,
misses.
I'm in. Okay.
Not good.
But either way, and they're talking about it, they're like so unprofessional. And Bisping's like,
Bisping's going
totally
hard, dude.
Yeah, he went super hard. He goes hard at him again during the post-fight interview. But to your point, when they're both in the booth, man, the phone booth, I felt like Rodriguez definitely was getting the better of the exchanges.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Saaiman doing really well on the exits. So in that first round, there was a time where Rodriguez grabbed one of his leg kicks, and when he let the leg down, Saaiman lands a big right. There's another time when they're exchanging, and then on the way out on the exit, Saaiman lands another big right. And so I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe Saaiman after that first round is going to see hey, that's my range. That's where I need to stay around that area where I could still maneuver and move out of the way of his shots, but I know that I could still clock him. He's leaving himself open in this range, right? But he just kept on getting within that phone booth distance again and just trading, which made it super fun.
And they stayed.
But definitely gave advantage to Rodriguez. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they didn't just throw a punch and they're gone. He would stay there and move a bit. He also Saaiman does this thing where he's really good with his step up outside low kick off his lead leg. He's really, really good. He hops in with it, and he does. And sometimes he'll hop in, throw that outside leg kick off his lead leg, but then sometimes he'll hop in and just plant that leg and throw a cross over it, and use that same entry where it's a leg kick. It's almost like the way Dan Henderson used to set up his hydrogen bomb, right? But just a little bit quicker and a little bit more long. Dan Henderson was a little bit more of a shuffle in, whereas Saaiman's almost like a hop in. But it was really cool to see. The grappling exchanges was really fun also, but that's where you could really tell that the weight made a difference. Rodriguez looked so much bigger in the grappling exchanges and just more powerful. He could just kind of shrug him off, where Saaiman, they looked like 2 different weight classes when they were grappling. And Dominic Cruz was like, yeah, Saaiman needs to go to the body Bisping was like, yeah, go to the body if you're Saaiman because you had a hard weight cut, all this stuff. And Dominic Cruz is like, I don't think he had a hard weight cut. He missed by 4 pounds. I don't think he tried. You shouldn't. If anything, you should not be going to the body because he's probably fine. He didn't have to cut.
That is true, man.
You don't miss by 4 pounds if you struggled real hard.
Solid point by Cruz.
Yeah, just don't let him commentate when Lloyd Irvin's in the corner. Huh?
Yeah, Jesus.
But this was a fantastic fight. It really sucks if you're Saaiman, right, to lose your undefeated status to someone who missed weight by 4 pounds. But it might be kind of the silver lining is there. I'm not undefeated anymore, but the one guy who did beat me fucking weighed in 4 pounds heavier. So, you almost get a little caveat, a little asterisk on your one loss. But both these guys, I think, are very, very promising. Rodriguez just needs to make weight, dude. Yeah, sucks because he's clearly very talented.
Didn't Martinez have a little problem with weight cuts too earlier in his career? Jonathan Martinez, right? Yeah. And it seems like he's figured it out.
Yeah, it happens, right? It's also he's young in the game. I don't want to give excuses, but sometimes there are valid excuses. Who knows? He said his body just wasn't responding, which is kind of I don't know if that.
Yeah, I feel him though,
make that
dude.
shit respond, dude.
Like when I go on a huge working out binge, right? And I'm just working out, and then I eat In and Out at night. My body does not respond the way I want it to the next day. Dude, so
every single time, I fucking love In and Out. I could eat that shit every single day.
Oh man! All right, we can move on to the next one. We're covering Darren Elkins, right? Yeah, Darren Elkins versus TJ Brown. Darren the Damage Elkins.
Dude. Fuck yeah! You know what? I'll shit on Dom all day about his commentary for the night, but for this fight, I fucking loved him because it was weird, dude. It's it's like the whole fight he was giving mad props to Alpha Male, just the entire fight. So if you're a newer fan, you don't really realize the context behind that, but back in the day, it was like Dominic Cruz versus the entire alpha male team. Like they all hated him. They were all training their guys specifically to beat Dominic Cruz, and he just kept shutting them all down. And it was amazing. It was one of the best rivalries. Has there ever been a rivalry where it's a whole gym against one guy? Like it was crazy. So to hear him like just giving a ton of props to alpha male during this fight, and just like it was just really cool to see. And I appreciate, because he's so petty, he's such a petty person, and he holds on to grudges. And in this fight, he just didn't. He let it all go, dude. And I was really cool
saying Dom has no filter. Yeah, and that gets him in trouble sometimes, but also drops some gold also.
Every once in a while. I think Connor's just eating these punches to tire Khabib out. Like, I think he's getting fucked up, dude.
Oh, we got Keith saying, "What's up, guys?" Oh man, but yeah,
but this fight was incredible.
So the damage, fun. Right? He's in a lot of wild fights. Okay, he's in a lot of wild exchanges. The damage, he does deliver a lot of damage, but he also takes a lot of damage. And you continue hearing the fact that he's a good wrestler. He wrestles, or he fights at Team Alpha Male, which we know there's a bunch of good wrestlers in there as well. And then, boom, the wrestling comes out in this fight.
It was beautiful. Like I've told you before, like every once in a while, I'll add a fight to a list that I have, like a playlist almost, where there's some fights where, shout out Omar too, saying, I like Dom talking about fights. I don't like Dom calling fights.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I like that.
But there's a list of fights where it's like, I show this fight to someone who says grappling is boring. And there's certain fights in there, Gillespie versus CDF, right? Like there's just a number of fights where it's just crazy grappling, and it's like anybody who says grappling is boring needs to watch this, and they can see the potential of what it can be, because some striking fights are super boring too. And this was one of those fights that's now on that list, because crazy scrambles back and forth. There was a point where I think it was the second round where Elkins was in on a takedown. TJ hits the switch, but Darren Elkins refuses to accept the position and rolls over him after the switch was hit. Like he hit the switch perfectly. But then it's like, dude, you don't think that Darren Elkins has faced somebody who's tried to hit a switch on him thousands of times, and you don't think he has an answer for that?
Yeah.
You're out of your goddamn mind. HLB Comer says TJ gets the low IQ award tonight, continued to wrestle himself into positions where he was fucked. I don't know what that is. I think sometimes maybe he felt something in the grappling where because he did end up on top a couple times. He landed a couple takedowns of his own. But I don't know if he just felt something like, I can get the better of him, and he just got tunnel visioned in the grappling mindset or something, because he just kept re-engaging and he just kept getting reversed.
And then the thing too is like Elkins, once he was getting in the top position, immense pressure, immense top pressure, dude. Yeah. And it's like, why continue putting yourself in that position?
Like I said, he must have felt something and just got tunnel vision. I don't know, dude. Tosi says, LOL, talking about Dom. Then Keith enters the chat. But yeah, like he just kept re-engaging in the grappling, and he just kept getting reversed. And Darren Elkins just had so many cool moves and so many answers to every single position. And like you said, his top game was different than TJ's. And eventually he got that choke, and it was fucking awesome to watch, dude. I love Darren Elkins. So seeing him get the win there, and just so wholesome in the post-fight speech, maybe a little CTE going on, who knows? But like, he's just here for the wars,
CTE, dude. Come on.
He's just here for the wars, and the Just Bleed gods smile upon Darren Elkins. You know what I mean?
He's an angel.
Yeah. Must Bleed gods. He's got a place, dude. He's got a place on the board. You know?
Classic. All right, man. Fun fight, though. Darren Elkins ends up choking out TJ, by the way.
Choked him out.
Yeah, which was
Gable grip,
solid.
Right? Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Wasn't the traditional one. And he almost got it earlier in the fight, but didn't quite get it. TJ Brown did a good job of escaping it, but yeah. Omar says TJ kept losing focus, probably kept thinking, why did Elkins get that tattoo? I think he might have been born with that, dude. That might be a birthmark.
No regrets. You know what I mean?
No regrets.
No regrets. Keith saying, Will, did you finally finalize the merch?
Yes, sir. We did, Keith. Storythefight.com. That'll have the merch. We got the hoodie. We got some shirts. It's up there. Shout out, Keith.
Yep.
holding me accountable to that. Took me long enough, huh?
And just so everybody knows, like when we're selling these shirts, selling the sweaters, whatever we have on there, like we're making no money off it. Like
I think because the math was hard, I think we make like $1 on some of the shirts. Then there's the Toasty shirt. Shout out Toasty. He's got a fight in November. His pro debut at A1 Combat. Shout out Alpha Male. Shout out Uriah Faber. That one we make, I think it's like 47 cents or something like that every time we sell one of those. But it's all about just getting people the stuff. And it's high quality shit. It is nice, you know?
It is super comfortable. Yeah. Omar saying international shipping, question mark?
I think just North America. If you want to get something, just DM us and we'll make it happen. But I think if you buy from the store, it's just like Mexico, US, Canada. But if you're international, if you're not in one of those 3 countries, just hit us up on Instagram or something like that, and we'll make it happen.
We'll figure something out for sure. All right. Thank you, Keith, for asking. You do a better job of selling our merch than we do, honestly, because we're terrible at this.
Yeah.
All right. We can cover my boy Terrance McKinney versus Brendon. Is it Marotte?
It is Brendon.
We'll go with all
Brendon.
3 of those. Yeah. But yeah, dude, Terrance McKinney. This guy, first round, first minute, 2 minutes. One of the most exciting fighters out there.
Yeah,
he just comes out swinging and banging, ready to go, YOLO. And dude, what a finish! So actually, if you didn't watch this fight, you could see the fight in these next 3 pictures. Rich,
nice.
Show the next one, please. So McKinney comes out and throws a huge right, just misses, and then we have Brendon with the high guard. Next picture, Rich.
Eyes closed.
McKinney says, "Oh, you're coming in with a high guard with your eyes closed? Let me go
and my
and grab
arms
your
already
head.
Behind your head."
Yeah, and just smash my knee straight into your chin, super hard.
God.
Brendon goes flying. Next picture, Rich. McKinney starts landing some massive hammer fist, and that's the fight.
Yeah,
that
seriously.
is the fight.
Yeah, Omar says McKinney is a lock for first round finish bets. Kill or be killed. Yeah, always bet the under on Terrance McKinney because the dude just he's going to war.
What it is. Was it like a 2 round over under on him?
I'm not sure, but I think even shout out Minty Bets. The only time maybe they'll get the shout out. She got this one. Not the most profit pick that I've seen before. It wasn't your pick of Juliana Pena beating Amanda Nunes a year before it happened. But she's like, yeah, Terrance McKinney, way too high of a favorite, but I do like the odds on the under for him. So she ran it. So yeah.
Hey, a win's a win. You take it, Minty Bets.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, props to Terrance McKinney. That was it though. That was
it. Yeah. You know, we talk about his fights. I'm sure if you looked at every fight that we've covered on this show, you know, and you averaged out like the amount of time covering the fight per fighter, you know, McKinney, we talk about him every single time he fights, but it's probably like a minute or 2 every time we talk about him because the fights are so quick.
Yeah, I do. McKinney, great story too. You know, like when you hear what he actually came from to what he's doing now, props to him. HLB Comer says, throw him to Dobrik. And no, we don't want to do that to Terrance McKinney. Okay.
Hey, maybe we do with the full camp, huh? That was a short fight, was it not? He almost got him.
I don't remember. Oh, he did. He cracked that beautiful jawline. Yeah. That's right. Andrew Dober was like, dude, I'm super fan. What are you talking about? So I'm at the local fights watching our boy Landry Ward fight. To my right, we have Kevin Holland. Right behind Kevin Holland, we have Tim Elliott. And over to the left behind me, you have Terrance McKinney, like up on the stage, next level, right? And they have such a bromance. Kevin Holland kept on turning around, looking at Terrance McKinney and just like yelling at the top of his lungs stuff to Terrance McKinney. Terrance McKinney would yell back at him. I'm like, move him over here. Yeah. Why doesn't he just walk over here and sit down next to you, bro? Like, nobody's going to tell Kevin Holland no. They'd probably add a couple of chairs on there if they want to, you know? And maybe like 3 fights that was going on over and over again. It's like, McKinney! And they just started yelling at each other. Finally, Terrance McKinney came down there and sat with him, dude. But you can see there's a real romance down there.
He shouted him out in the post-fight interview. McKinney is like, yeah, shout out to Kevin Holland. Shout out to Jamal Hill. I feel like they're rounding out my game, all this stuff.
Yeah, dude. A lot of fun.
Fun guys.
Good times. Good times. All right. I think this
Omar
is the
says, want him versus Jim Miller. Oh. Give me Jim Miller
Matchmaker
versus Joe
Omar?
Lozon at UFC 300. I want that Lozon fight still. You know, I don't want to see
Oh,
Jim Miller get murked.
did you see that they hired some dude to be a matchmaker from like some contest or something like that?
Yeah, they had that contest where you like they were like, yeah, you build your card and like if we pick your card like as like the best like put together one or whatever, we like fly you out or something like that. They flew this guy out. He won it. They flew him out and they're like, this guy's a fucking animal. He like knew like the entire roster, like even like the nobodies. And they're like, dude, we gotta fucking hire this guy to be a matchmaker. But apparently he's some savage. Who knows if it's just some PR thing by the UFC, but I don't think they're very good at stuff like that. So I think it might be like legit. You know?
That's an annual contest, right? Says Omar. I don't know.
I don't know.
I must have in my card and it's just like champion versus champion. You know,
like
like
Conor McGregor versus
dude, just copy and paste like a card that's already out.
Yeah.
Dude, what can I say?
Keith says, what the hell happened to Izzy? He's disappearing for a while. Yeah, he said that he's taking some time off. He's not retiring, but he's taking some time off. I support him on that, dude. The guy
as he should.
Insanely
He's
active.
been active. He's been an active champion. Look, say what you want about Izzy. Say what you want against Kamaru Usman. Those guys were active, man. You can pretty much guarantee Usman was going to have 2 to 3 fights a year, even as a champion.
And to Izzy's credit, was constantly begging for guys to win, to like so he could have new challenges. Shout out HB Comer. We're not going to show that. We're a family show. Shout out HB Comer.
That's so funny though. But yes, we will move on to the next fight. We had Melissa Dixon versus Irina Alekseeva.
Yeah, this will be the last one we cover of the card, but it was a fun fight, fun scrap, a little wild, a little reckless.
Alekseeva, dude, when she was entering, she was saying, like,
crazy.
This is it. Like, she's
Russian
willing to die out there. She's just rushing, throwing crazy wide hooks.
Really weird punches, just kind of like from the shoulder punching like I do in my dreams.
But Dixon, dude, she had the solid jab, step and jab. She had a solid right. And so Alekseeva would come in just like, and then she'd just get caught with the jab, be like, ugh, and just have to reset. And
she was doing that thing where she's like, someone throws a jab at you and you try to like move away from it, but it still lands. So it ends up looking way crazier. Like, snap your head back, but it's like half of it was you.
But then I'm here and I'm making some food, right? And I'm watching this fight. I'm like, why do you continue rushing in like that? Like if you're getting caught, and then she catches Dixon and drops her. I was like, oh, that's why.
It's because when they do land, she broke her face with that one punch.
Yeah, she
did.
And
it's like, but you see that and you're like, start throwing straight punches, and then she kind of never did again after that one that dropped her. She went back to those weird kind of like from the hip, throwing your shoulder first, and then your hand comes around with it. Really weird. She hit the classic women's MMA head and arm throw. And then Dixon reversed it. That's the biggest thing. My biggest takeaway from this fight is Dixon's grappling was really cool to watch. HB Comer says sexy haircut too.
It's a nice
haircut. Oh shit, dude!
It is a nice haircut. I can't say anything. I wish I had that haircut. You know what I mean?
There's strong potential for what's the guy? Sideshow Bob. Strong potential for that if she wants to.
That's right. But yeah, that was the last fight we're going to cover. Keith says Usman or Hamzat versus Strickland. I think they've already come out and said that, right?
Yeah, which is crazy, dude. Duplessis, I remember I said it and everyone was like, no. But as soon as he denied that fight to fight Izzy in Australia, they were like, lose my fucking number, Duplessis. Because it's crazy that two guys that are coming up from welterweight who don't have a win in the rankings at middleweight are about to get a title shot off of a win. HB Comer.
You don't have to read that one, but shout out HB Comer. My guy coming in strong. He had been absent the last few weeks, man, and he's coming in strong today, dude. He was ready to go.
Sure is.
Hilarious. All right. Do you want to cover a moment of silence?
Yeah, moment of silence. They had some big cancellations in this one, and some weird last minute ones too. McKinney was originally supposed to fight Duncan. Duncan couldn't get into the country, so he fought Brendon, and he starches him with that knee early. Hani Yahya was originally supposed to fight Alekseeva Tegeli, Taglielli. Instead, he got Yaya withdrew, so he got Chris Gutierrez. Chris Gutierrez put on an absolute leg kick clinic on him. Couldn't get anything off. Michel Pereira was supposed to fight Marc-Andre Barrio. Barrio pulled out like a week or two ago. So he got Petroski, and then he punched him once. And then let's see. McKinney, we talked about that. Edgar Chairez versus Lacerda was rebooked for this card. They fought recently. There was a weird choke incident where Tayoni called it, but he was out. He wasn't out. I don't know. And then so they rebook it. They reverse the decision. They rebook for this one, and then Lacerda gets herpes, and they're like, "Sorry, man, you can't fight with herpes." So they call it like they canceled it like the day before or something like that. But the big one was David Dvorak versus Tatsudo Taira. That's a bummer because Dvorak is up there in the rankings. This was a big step up for Tatsudo. Would have been sick, but whatever. Didn't happen. Omar says biggest moment of silence later this year is the cancellation of Piotr Jan versus Song Yadong. God damn, that would have been cool. In China. Come on. Would have been so
Would have been such a banger, yeah. All right, bonuses. Who got some extra monies?
The monies. Let's see. We had
$1,000.
Pereira got one for his one punch, and then Martinez got one for his leg kick TKO, then Sodiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza got fight of the night. To put Edson Barboza, I believe, either tied or in the lead. I think he might be in the lead for most fight of the night bonuses in UFC history. Fucking legend. I thought you were just going to take him out in the first round?
Yeah, not Edson Barboza, dude. Not
with Lloyd Irvin in your corner? Come on.
Keith saying, Romero, how is your one championship viewership going? We need to get you into the One Prime watch party. Look, dude, honestly, I wait till Will says, like, hey, you got to watch this one. And the only reason being is, like, dude, I'm so busy right now.
Yeah, it's crazy right now.
My little guy's into club soccer, travel ball, baseball. Football's about to start. We have my daughter in competitive cheer, tumbling. She just signed up for basketball. Like, we're not busy enough, but
crazy, dude. I don't know how you do it all.
It's exhausting but rewarding. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, so that's why, Keith, I wait until Will says, like, hey, you have to watch this banger, and then I'm like, okay, I'll see where I could fit it in, and then I end up watching it that way.
Thank God they're on Friday, huh? And not on Saturday with the UFC.
Oh my God. Yeah, HB Comer, we were saying competitive cheer, tumbling. What is that? So essentially, it's very intense cheerleading where they go through travel and enter major competitions, and it's a money pit. And these places steal money from parents essentially, so that they could go watch their kids do cheer competitions. But it's intense. It's a big deal over here in the U.S.
Is it cheer tumbling, or is it cheer and then tumbling is like the gymnastics? Right?
It's like separate, yeah. It's separate, but they use some tumbling in cheer. Welcome everybody to Story of the Fight, where we cover all things cheer related. And yeah, but
you watch all the cheer movies? Aren't there like a bunch of like cheer, like competitive cheer movies or something like that?
Oh, absolutely! Bring it on!
Dodgeball.
Come on, do you remember that one?
Right?
Wait,
Dodgeball?
No, Dodgeball.
Remember at the end they do the cheer competition. Justin Long steps in on short notice, dude.
That is right.
What is this, the fight game or the cheer game, dude?
Justin Fantastic.
Long short notice.
All right, but what else do we have? What do we have coming up next week?
Tawan Chai T, that's fucking sick. Yeah, next week we got Abu Dhabi, the Shakeup, the GoofCon 2 after USADA pulled out. We have Islam Makhachev was supposed to fight on Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. Do Bronx got a nasty cut on his eyebrow, so they call it. Volkanovski steps in on 11 days notice, fly to Abu Dhabi, take on the champ, maybe his last chance to have a rematch for the lightweight belt in what was a fight of the year contender the first time. So he takes on
Rich
short notice.
Is going to be tuning into that one.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Volk's his boy. And then co-main event was supposed to be Paulo Costa versus Hamzat Chimaev. When they announced that fight, I made a bet with somebody, one of my buddies, and I was like, $20 says that fight never happens. And he was like, no, it'll happen, dude. It's Abu Dhabi. They make shit done. They get shit done. And I was like, cool, $20 on the line. Paulo Costa's like, I had surgery on my elbow. And they're like, what the fuck? No, apparently they knew about it. He also had gnarly staph. You can't really do anything about that. That's not in your control.
That's what I was going to ask, if it was staph, because when he showed that picture, it looked disgusting.
Well, he had really bad staph, and then I think he also had bursitis in his or bursitis or whatever the fuck. I'm not a doctor, where they have to remove some bone a little bit from your elbow. Happens a lot in baseball, but So yeah, he had to get surgery. He said the UFC knew about it. They paid for it, all this stuff. So it was all in the up and up. It wasn't like he was like, "Hey guys, guess
okay.
what?"
Yeah.
So they knew about it.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I mean, they also like you gotta have a backup. You gotta have a backup if Hamzat's fighting nowadays. You gotta have a backup if Paulo's fighting. So Kamaru Usman steps in on 10 days' notice, shorter than Volk, a day shorter than Volk, to go up to middleweight to fight Hamzat, which everyone was like, Hamzat's the boogeyman. Can't wait to see him rise through the ranks and take on Usman for his belt at welterweight. And now we're doing it for no belt at middleweight.
HB Comer says, I wanted to see that fight. Dude, I did too.
Costa versus Hamzat?
Yeah.
Me too, man. Because it's a real middleweight test for Hamzat too.
Yeah.
You know? Well,
for sure.
Could have been a light heavyweight test too. Depends on if you're Marvin Vettori or not. but that's a big fight, man. Usman versus Hamzat is also very big. I don't know what Usman's got left, and at a heavier weight with those knees, it's
tough,
just,
man.
It's going to be very interesting to see.
The further we got into Usman's career, the more I liked him, honestly. You know,
his ghost stories.
I'm really wait. What?
You liked his ghost stories, the way he talks, like he's always telling a ghost story.
I'm
kill this man.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm on another level right now. He says all these. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Just give him a little flashlight so he holds it right underneath his face whenever he's talking. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like as we got further in his career, I appreciated so much more just how active he was. He was a classy champion as well, you know. So I just hope he doesn't go out like getting knocked out by Hamzat.
Yeah, he might. Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. It was weird because it was like you know, it's like the Eastern Bloc guys versus Brazil was like what they were kind of billing this card as. Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker, Paulo Costa versus Hamzat, Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira, and now two of the Brazilians pulled out. But Johnny Walker's left all alone, like he was when he got kicked out of the arena in his fight kit, and he's on the strip in Vegas, not knowing what to do. That's a decent fight. It's gonna be interesting to see. Big test for Johnny Walker. He's kind of had a little resurgence a little bit. Ankalaev's a fucking savage. Still only that one loss to Paul Craig, where he was winning for the entire fight until he got caught.
Yep.
Ikram Aliskerov versus Warley Alves. What was that?
I said shout out Paul Craig, the Bear Jew.
The Bear Jew. Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Maun Gaffarov. Your boy Tim Elliott that you were just partying with against Muhammad Mokaev. Big step up for Mokaev. Let's see. Muhammad.
By the way, Tim Elliott, super nice guy.
They're flying Trevor Peek out to Abu Dhabi. What are they thinking? That's crazy, dude. Tim Elliott seems like a nice guy.
Oh, dude, super nice. He was just walking by. Dude, I'm the type of guy that when I see like a fighter, celebrity, or anything, like I'm just like, should I not? Like, I always feel weird asking for pictures and stuff like that. Your boy was a few drinks in already. I was like, hey, Tim, come here, dude. Let's take a picture, bro. Like the way I told him to, like, hey, dude. I almost asked him, like, do you want to take a picture with me, dude?
Yeah, and you text me, and I was like, get him on the show. Tell him to come on the podcast. And then nothing.
I got a
never heard back.
Got a picture that said.
Yeah. Omar says, how are they liking which one? Omar says, how are they liking Volk's chances? Short notice, no time to bulk up, and coming off of surgery. It's a tough ask.
Yeah, tough ask.
You know, it's a very tough ask. Last fight, he had everything working for him. It was in Australia. You know, like they had extra time to cut or rehydrate, all this stuff. You know, like that was like a perfect opportunity for him to take this. This is the complete opposite. Everything is stacked against him this time. So if he does it this time, it's even more great than if he did it the first time. Keith says Volk thinks he's going to KO Islam. Man, it's going to be crazy, dude. HB Comer says Hamzat didn't go to the ground with Burns because he was throwing up submissions. Usman has 0 submission game. That's a very good point. People are like, and look, Usman's a very good wrestler. He's a very good MMA wrestler. I would say that Hamzat's a better pure wrestler. I don't think Usman's going to be able to take Hamzat down the way he does to everybody else. But we also really haven't seen Hamzat be the nail. And I don't know if Usman's going to, because Usman's such a pressure heavy fighter. It's going to be interesting to see Hamzat take on someone with elite pressure like that. But it might be a little too late for Usman here.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that looks like it's going to be a good card. Should be a lot of
shorter
fun.
time. I thought it was longer. Oh, it was shorter when Volk fought, but then the last time they went to Australia, it was like an extra like 8 hours or something like that. And everyone's like, "What the hell? Where was this when Volk fought?" they like changed it or something. But I think it was a different commission, different part of Australia maybe.
Who knows?
Nathaniel Woods on the
Different part of
card
Australia.
against Naimov. That's a great fight. You got Bruno Silva versus Magomedov. Magomedov's the guy that beat the brakes off that dude who clowned him in that mall. He saw that couple. I forgot where they were, and he saw a couple on an escalator below him, and they were like hugging or something, and like he kissed his girlfriend, and he was like, "That shit's not okay to do in public." And then he like tried to outdog him real quick, and the dude fucked him up a little bit, and then he got his feelings all hurt, so he like waited around a corner for him and fucking sucker punched him, and then stomped him out. He got arrested for it.
Who was
And the UFC's
this?
like, Sharabutin Magomedov.
TMZ Will. Why didn't you tell me about this before?
I did. I have before when they signed him. He's a guy with like one eye that's like clearly fucked. I don't know what's going on with him, but
Oh, he does kind of look like Bisping there with like long hair.
yeah, the one eye bandit.
One-eyed bandit.
I got in an argument with somebody who was like, "There's no real proof that actually happened," and it's like, "Well, there is video and there is an arrest record and a police."
What
record
more proof do you want?
And he was like, "Yeah, but do you have a credible source for that?" And I was like, "Here's one in Russian. Here's one in English. I don't know which one you'd like more." And he's like, "Yeah, but this is all just saying that's what the police said. Where's like the video interview of the police saying that?" And it's like, does there need to be a video for it to have happened of a guy saying that it happened? Because there's a video you can watch of him doing it.
All right, I'm done.
The true
I'm done.
Move aside code.
Classic. No love around that guy, right? All right, man.
But yeah, big event this weekend, dude. Real big.
Yeah, well, that's all I got, Will. Do you have
Volk
anything
or
else?
Islam?
Oh, dude, I got Islam's gonna win. I think Volk does have a good chance. I hate counting out Volk. You saw what happened every single time I bet against him going up against Max Holloway. He continues proving me wrong over and over again. And maybe he proves me wrong again.
Tough task.
But I do think Islam Makhachev is going to take this one.
Yeah. Kamaru versus Hamzat. You got Hamzat?
Oh, give me Hamzat. The thing is, give Kamaru maybe a full camp, and I think it'd be a much closer fight.
Mm-hmm. 10 days notice is fucking big. To fly to Abu Dhabi also, like,
give me Hamzat.
Animals, dude. Savages. Volk and Usman both. And props to Islam
and
Hamzat.
We should do a story of the fight parlay.
Story of the fight parlay? How are we going to do that?
I don't know. Do you want to just go in on a bet since they won't let you bet in the United States?
Hey, shout out Prize Picks. They do let me bet. I've been making some money.
There we go. But yeah, we can go in on something. Doing we put our heads together for a nice parlay. We split the earnings.
Okay. But I got Volk though.
Oh, well, maybe you do your own then.
But sometimes you pick with your heart and then you I don't know. Andrew Tossi says we should do an MMA debate / topic discussion episode with someone. Nah. I'm much better when I can think about my comments and put them online versus off the cuff. I think I get a little too passionate about it, and then I start talking like an idiot.
Oh, man. In that case, maybe we should sign you up to go up against Toasty on one.
Let's get Lloyd Irvin on. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Talk about that alleged rapist.
All right. Do you have anything else?
No.
All right. Well, thank you, Toasty, Omar, Keith, the return of HLB Comer. Regen joined us as well. We had somebody else that called us out and said that he would knock us both. The Generous King. Shout out to the Generous King for showing his generosity and coming in with that awesome one-liner there. And I believe that. Oh, Monster Tony. Hopefully the haircut comes out really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But hey, thank you, everybody. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're trying to reach 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there. I think we're at 9,200.
When we started this, I think we were at 9,166. So we're getting there. We're close.
We're getting there.
Come on.
Yeah, and in case y'all didn't know, we got somebody working in the background, behind the scenes. Our producer in the background, Richard Bustos. There we go. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to another week of Story of the Fight.